I'll export your snippet.
I'll snip your export.
Do you have the communal wine?
Still not the worst offers I've had this week.
I did not give those worst offers. Just throwing that out there.
Okay.
No, we're vaguely internet famous on certain things, so we get a lot of trolls. Some of them are blocked, and the offers that they've thrown out there, just no.
They like our mouth stuff, is what you're saying.
No. No, the amount of people who will follow us on Twitter and then send a message for like, hey, I espouse extremist belief. Could you retweet this post for me? Just nah.
No.
Just because we live in...
Live in the worst timeline?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, Mike's face with, yeah, let's go with that.
So, speaking of the worst timeline, welcome back to the Average Adventuring Party podcast, where the adventurers may be average, but their adventures are not.
Hey, did you just call us average?
Yes.
Yeah.
We're a solid 6 out of 10 at least.
Yeah.
I'd say slightly above average.
You could be
No.
the mean.
No.
Ah,
I mean,
that
look
jokes.
at our party breakdown. We basically have a
We have your average adventuring party.
You've got a cleric and a rogue and a fighter and a wizard. They might be wearing different costumes, but
I'm a wizard.
You are not a wizard.
yeah, he just
I cast fist all the time.
All the time. And occasionally foot.
No, that's the sad thing is he can never cast foot. He can only
I'm gonna hoof it from here.
He can only hoof it. That almost ended up being a title for one of the previous episodes. 'Cause Nameless made that joke about hoofing it to the woods and nobody caught it. And I am sad.
Oh, you poor thing.
I am.
It's less that I didn't notice that and more that Neville has no sense of humor.
There's that.
And the only low-hanging fruit that Iocus goes for is usually whenever he's kicking it.
I was going to say, based on average party size, he's got to worry about his low-hanging fruit.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh, my.
So, things happened last time.
Yeah.
Y'all remember any of them?
We just game here. We're not supposed to remember anything, right?
Well, yeah. I seem to recall something about us encountering some Centaur guards who saw this giant fuck-off Minotaur approaching with 2 little ones on his shoulders. And they decided, oh, okay, we're going to start charging at them, even though they are approaching non-combatively. And of course, it turned out that they were just having a good old-fashioned jape at our expense. And
Although I would like to note, this is one of the few times in history that Iocus has said, let's not punch them first, and then let's not kill them. He has shown growth. Air quotes.
Ray has not. Ray has not.
I was protecting a friend.
Yes. And
Yes.
murder was the first thing on your mind.
Yes.
All I can
No.
Yes, yes.
all I can see is like Conker's Bad Fur Day, where things are blowing up left and right, and we hear "You've got it," and you can finish the rest, so it's not copyrighted.
you've got a work acquaintance in me.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
No, you're not. You're never sorry.
Isn't that usually against the rules to have a work acquaintance in you?
Depends on where you work.
Call HR. Pretty sure this was in the employee handbook.
That was satire, whoever owns the rights to that.
We totally won't remove that in post.
Yeah, I probably won't, actually. So, you did encounter a Centaur patrol, a couple of whom thought it would be a great mark of honor to take down both some intruders and also a semi-famous intruder, one of which was completely, entirely, and utterly promptly slapped into the dirt.
Yeah, that happened.
Picked on the little ones.
Yeah, the rest of the party, in various ways, took out this patrol, only to find out that the one in charge of it basically let those youngsters
Go haze themselves.
Yeah, do what they thought they could do, and they got the punishment they deserved.
They got exactly what he intended.
Also, all of you saw Nameless exhibit some
weird fucking powers when he shoots his bow.
Not just when he shoots his bow. And you were told that as long as everyone was under Iocus's protection, this patrol was not going to ask too many questions or force them into too many uncomfortable situations. So as far as they were concerned, Nameless was not nameless unless someone specifically confronted them with that information. So we're going to pick up probably about a day later. The Centaurs have not spoken to any of you, with the exception of the one leading the patrol, who has almost exclusively spoken to Iocus. If you have asked any questions, you've been ignored until Iocus asks the same question, or somehow said patrol leader manages to convey that information to him in conversation. The 4 centaurs that you laid out in various means have more or less recovered. And it's just been sort of this long, quiet trek. The weather for the last day has been all over the place. I know, Neville, you've been paying attention to it. So, as of day 7, since the eruption, it has been, let's see, on day 1, snow, extreme snow. On day 2, extreme rain, fog, rain. Day 5, which is the day Iocus woke up, it was hot all morning. It became very humid and then started snowing. And then the next day it was very windy and a mostly rainless thunderstorm until it started raining. And actually it has not let up raining all day.
Okay, so today's been very rainy.
Today has just been rain. So since you've been tracking it, that's what the weather's been. And after a certain point, Iocus, you start recognizing familiar landmarks. You're in Sunlight Hunter territory, and have been for some time. Eventually, you're led to a large village that has sort of wooden, if you think of the classic like sharpened wooden tree fences, that's what it has. It's just these logs that have been sharpened to a point and then faced outward. So the wall is actually at an angle, meant to repel charges. Like you would see this in a cavalry, anti-cavalry formation. When you get close, you start seeing people milling about. There are people trying to haul in furs and harvest and any kind of meat that they can get a hold of. where you would expect to see just these large fields, and you might expect to see some animals that are being kept. There's just like slush and mud and gunk. Like crops have been completely ruined. A lot of people are repairing houses. They have these kind of tall wooden structures.
Have there been many fires? Does it look like fires or just wind and weather?
No, so think of the classic like triangular lean-to. That's how the houses are shaped. Not a lot actually goes on in the houses aside from shelter, right? So like people, the centaurs cook outdoors. Their social lives are outdoors. You go indoors to sleep. So they're not meant, while they're meant to shelter, they're not meant to be shelter from extreme weather. And so you can see some that have collapsed just under the weight of snow, or the wind has, gotten under one side and buckled it. Even though they're wooden structures, they're only semi-permanent. So people who are repairing things are repairing, like you might see a group of centaurs flipping an entire house back over, and then it just starts to sink into this mud, which is ankle deep, easily. For Iocus, it's probably you're actually probably starting to sink into it as you walk. Eventually, you're led to just this outdoor area in the center of town, more or less. There's a particularly unhappy looking older centaur who has a gigantic hammer across his back, and he is directing people for supplies. You know him as Genzorig. He has had the same beard since you knew him. It's probably down past his belly button, and he's just got like a halo of gray frizzy hair. He wears, draped across his shoulders, all of you can see this, is if you think of a cloak made of tiger skin, and the paws where they come together, that's the clasp in front of his neck, and it drapes all the way down his back. He seems unfazed by the weather, but people keep coming up to him and asking him for things or to do things, and if you spend any time watching him, he's delegating.
Okay. Iocus will call out as we approach and say, Genzorig! That's a lot more gray than the last time.
He looks up and just has this immense frown on his face.
I see you remember me.
Because nobody is supposed to call him by his name, his given name. You're supposed to effectively use his tribal chieftain name, and whenever he sees you, this big smile breaks out over his face, and then he sees people are watching, and he goes back to frowning, points them to one of his assistants, and then comes trotting over. On the hoof, he's probably about the same height, eye to eye with Iocus. He reaches out, just this massive hand, and pats you on the shoulder. Says, I hope that Calais hasn't found your back in the Centaur Plains. She is going to gut you if she finds you here.
Funny story. Would you happen to know where Calais is?
He does just... Oh, wait, you're serious?
Either I have a death wish, or we're gonna stop this weather thing.
He looks around and says, I can tell you exactly where she is, but you don't want to go there either. Come. And he stops, seeing the rest of you. And looks around. If you guys look around, Nameless is nowhere near you. Are you...
Does it look like there's any kind of kerfuffle or,
Like, people actively got out of your way when you're coming into town, but for the most part, they haven't been... Like, the attention hasn't been drawn to you.
Can I scan the crowd and see if I see Nameless trying to blend in? I know what he was wearing, and...
Sure. Sounds like a good wisdom check.
Yeah, absolutely. That's 13. That'd be 18.
No.
Okay.
You can't see him, and now that you think about it, you probably haven't seen him since you got near the village.
Okay, all right.
Genzor looks at you and says, I have quite a few problems right now. I'm going to assume that you've brought these outsiders here for a very particular and important reason.
Yes.
He stops and looks at each of you in turn. I don't like you. I don't know you, but I don't like you. And if any of my people give me any reason to suspect anything from you, I'm going to have you put to death.
They remain under my protection. I vouch for their good behavior.
Then...
Right. And I look around at the wee folk.
Then that extends to you as well. I just want you to know, if you do anything in my lands that I deem inappropriate, now all of you, as well as he, are going to be put to death. Do I make myself clear and upfront?
We are guests here, so we should be respecting your authority and the rules of your people regardless.
No, don't get me wrong. You're not guests here. You should not be here. And in any other circumstances, I would just remove you. But Iocus and I go way back. I'm trusting that he will keep you in order.
If they're not, I'll kill them myself. Except that one, which I'll figure out how to do that.
He shrugs. Step into my office.
We move to another patch of dirt.
He takes you all under a large tree, which is only providing some shelter from the rain. And it looks like he's had the branches stripped off so people can sit here. So, what brings you to my lands?
Philomena's gonna be going in and out of the trunk of the tree.
Genzorg looks at you. Do you mind?
What?
That's very distracting.
We don't want to annoy our host. It's horrible death for the rest of us and dissolution for you. Please.
Fine.
Thank you. Also, side note, Iocus has gained some manners over time.
Gasp.
From episode 1 to now.
Gasp.
It's his acting skills.
Well, it sure as hell ain't his medical skills.
And who did he learn those from?
Suna.
That is a great question. Yes, Suna.
Someone pointed at Suna and said,
Suna.
"Don't do what she does."
I was like, oh God, is that me? Is that what I sound like?
Well, do you want the long version or the short version?
He looks around. Well, there's not another immediate catastrophe about to happen.
You think?
I
Well,
hope.
after I left the Centaur lands, some things happened, and I won't bore you with too many of that, but it ended in a dragon dying and a mountain exploding and the weather happening.
Yes, I should have known that was you.
I can neither confirm or deny that I was entirely at fault at that. But yes, I was involved. That said, it seems like I woke up 5 days later and the weather is messed up. And these fine folk saved me from drowning in a small amount of water. And it turns out that they, too, all have pieces that will help solve this issue.
So you know what the cause of it is?
I have some suspicions, most of which point to something needing a spirit talker. You don't happen to know any other than one who happens to want to spill my guts and have an awkward reunion with?
Well, that was something of a unique tradition.
Yes. Yes.
I haven't encountered any in years. I know Calais was taking a few under her wing when she left for the hills.
Speaking of Calais and their...
Oh, yes, let's speak of Calais. You have the largest set of balls, my friend, to even have considered breaking her heart.
I think the size of my nether regions may war with the lack of size of my intelligence. Yes, we agree on this. Unfortunately, I had a feeling that I had to leave, that it would have been worse if I had stayed. Not for me, you see, but worse for... Actually, I don't remember why. It's very random. But something told me I had to leave.
Well, regardless of you leaving or not, things got particularly heated around here.
That's the Calais I know.
Oh, not with her, with the boy.
So that's where I was going with this. I left you, one of my most trusted friends, in charge of grooming my boy. I noticed a distinct lack of my boy. What happened?
I see. Well, the boy was an idiot.
That sounds like my son, yes.
Yes. He looks at the rest of you. Says, "Are you aware of our traditions? Has Iocus told you anything of us?"
No, sir.
Then consider yourself particularly lucky in that I'm going to explain something to you that, as far as I know, has only been explained to one outsider in my lifetime. And he pointedly looks at Iocus. He picks up one of the paws on his cloak and says, "These are the means by which the Tiger Chiefs gain both their names and their power. This is a symbol of authority. Each of us, either individually or through cunning and leadership, is tasked with hunting a dire tiger and taking its pelt as part of our ascension into leadership. Your boy went on many of these hunts. And on the last hunt, we were all present when he stupidly, very stupidly, found the cub of one of the tigers that we were meant to hunt,
Yes.
hid it, and brought it back here. We only found out about it after it had grown enough to massacre a good portion of our livestock.
Just livestock, though, right?
It was put down,
Oh.
but dire tigers are bestial and unintelligent.
Yes,
Cunning, but
it seems to be something that runs in the family because I was aiming for a basilisk myself.
You guys don't like pets?
it's not that we don't domesticate animals. It's that that particular animal has a particular meaning to my people. And in bringing one back, not only did he risk the livelihood of our entire village, and the tribe for that matter, he directly insulted the lineage of every tiger chief going back to the beginning. And unfortunately, that's not an insult that we could let stand.
Is there a way that he can atone?
As far as I am concerned, no.
Okay.
He chose himself over his tribe and chose himself over every tribe. So if he wants to be alone, he is alone.
So, if he were to somehow demonstrate that he were able to give to all tribes and to your tribe, would that not atone? I mean, it would take a whole lot to do something that could...
I suppose if you had something in mind that equally benefited every tribe, why not?
Eh.
But
I mean, I'm meeting Calais. I've got like 3 impossible things to do on my list, and it's only morning, so...
oh, well, make it 4, because finding her and getting to her is going to be a problem.
Why is that?
Well, when you left and the boy was exiled, she took her followers, there weren't many, and went west into the hills. Kassar now owns that land. And he spits in the dirt. Not that any one of us recognizes her legitimacy, but
She's powerful.
she is a force to be reckoned with.
She would seem to be a problem that keeps coming back up. How have you guys encountered? Have y'all encountered any centaurs on your journeys through this land?
Yeah, they've all been hostile,
Yeah.
with the exception of Nameless.
We've usually just fled.
That's good. It's good, because if you had killed any of them, I'm all but certain those tribe leaders would be seeking retribution.
Well, honestly, there's that, but also we recognize that we are intruders upon other people's lands, and unlike the political ruling class of the Sun Chaser sovereignty, we choose to recognize our status as outsiders.
That is particularly enlightened of you. Stupid, but enlightened. Regardless. She is a concern. In fact, she has started annexing land and breaking the old tribal settlements, taking people into her fold. We're unable to do anything about it. My fellow chieftains are conflicted. And 8 tribes, 8 plans, no compromise. You know how it is.
Yeah. Sounds like you need a war leader.
If we were given free reign and not experiencing these issues that we're having, I imagine that would be true, and a certain argument could be made. But right now,
Taking care of your people is the problem.
for 7 days, it has been at least one emergency per day. Not least of which is that our available food and water is dwindling.
Quick question. Do you have any scouts out near Kasar's lands?
No.
Okay.
We are purposefully not provoking her at this time. Normally, if we encounter her people, we either track them or shuffle them onto another tribe's land to be dealt with, or they come onto our land, we deal with them. Right now, I just don't have the people for it, and I don't have the support for it.
So you don't know if these weather patterns are affecting her lands or as well, or
I have no idea. In fact, the patrol that you came in with was one of the last ones we were expecting back after the snow. And from the fact that nobody is telling me anything, I gather they were unsuccessful in their mission. They found you, which is unlucky enough as is.
Yes. Yes, it was. Well, as it stands, any supplies you can spare would be greatly appreciated. I understand if there's nothing to spare right now, but I feel we have to find Calais, and that means we have to tangle with Kasar.
I can only offer you my fondest condolences and shelter for the evening, should you choose it.
What time of day is it?
You walked probably until midday-ish.
While I appreciate the offer of shelter, and I would far prefer shelter to rain, we are on a very strict timeline. If this doesn't get done, then everybody dies.
Excellent.
Yes, yes.
I don't think that will be much of a problem. I fear if the other tribes are in a situation similar to ours, they will send raiding parties soon, wherever. And right now, as much as I am loath to say it, there are a few of the other chieftains that I know we are incapable of taking in our diminished state.
Indeed. Knowing one's capabilities is not a weakness. It just lets you know when to fight and when to run.
The only problem is we have nowhere to run to. If we leave our lands, there's very, very little neutral territory.
As it has always been.
So we are going to prepare ourselves, and that's why I've told everyone to bring in whatever harvest they can, whatever food they can, whatever supplies they can, and we're going to prepare for both the storms to get worse and for us to be sieged at some point.
Might I offer you an alternative? And it is one that, from your standpoint, will sound absolutely crazy. But if you trust nothing, hear me out.
You forget how many of our conversations you've started this way.
And we're both still alive, because sometimes you listened to me, and sometimes you didn't.
I will only acquiesce to listening.
Instead of preparing for war and the destruction of your people, because that will come one way or the other, head to neutral ground. Call for a meeting. Unite the people, not behind your leadership, but get them all to the neutral ground. That will take time. By the time this is resolved, Either you will have your war leader, or we'll all be dead. There's no in between. And if I've ever said anything, I believe more. I have never believed anything more. You could help be a driving force to saving your people and all of the Centaur people from Kassar's rule and from what's coming. But I cannot do this. I have to stop this weather. And as soon as the weather has stopped, y'all will have your war leader.
He says, I see that you are fervent in your beliefs. I don't think that moving my people is an appropriate response. But I am willing to at least send messengers. I have no idea if they'll make it or what the responses will be. But we can at least try. It, at this point, costs me nothing to try. But I don't think our people need to be out in the open. At least here we have some form of relief should the weather turn.
Potentially. But the only reason I say send your entire people, and I'd argue for this, is if your entire clan shows up in neutral ground, then the others have to respond in similar way, or they'll assume that you're taking it over. And at that point, you will have a strained situation, but you will have the troops of the Centaur nation.
We border 4 other tribes. If I were to send all of my people, at best, you could expect some casualties. And at worst, you could expect all 4 of them to send out a force to wipe us out. The traditions between the chiefs are very long and storied and are in place for a reason.
Nobody's open to change.
Well, I'm unfamiliar with them. I was able to move freely between tribes, so I never took the time to learn how they speak to each other.
You say freely, but
Yeah, well,
it cost
not
all of us quite a few favors for you to have that freedom. It was not free. In fact, I think you still owe me for quite a bit of that.
Free. Yeah, I seem to recall no strings attached. Let's go back to my boy about
Ignoring the strings does not mean they are not there. And that's a matter to settle if and when we get through this calamity.
Yes.
So he can just pay you back by saving your little tribe here.
I can't.
And fixing the weather,
No.
getting you a war chief, and killing off whatever that chick's name is.
Kassar. Well, one,
No,
I
not
can't.
her.
We're not killing Calais.
Oh,
Why?
maybe I have him backwards.
No, she's definitely gonna kill me, but I'm not gonna kill her.
Okay, I have him backwards.
Yeah.
Okay, then
Kassar.
yes, the first one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, that could be payback.
No.
Why no?
I
You don't believe it.
at one point traded a very particular and important and sentimental item to myself to free Iocus from the grips of another
Let
chieftain.
me. Quick point of order. You were happy to get your daughter married. I can't believe you're calling her an item.
I'm not referring to my daughter, but thank you for reminding me that my daughter married into another tribe because of you.
She shouldn't have followed me. It's okay. I'll stop talking now.
That'd probably be smart.
But then again,
He pulls his like very menacingly pulls his hammer off his back and says, "Because of Iocus, I'm having to use my third favored hammer, and have been for some years."
So it's a hammer you're looking for.
No, just demonstrating that certain things are not in equal value to other things.
yeah,
Oh,
He
is
liked
it his
that.
nose ring?
he liked that hammer more than he
That's-
liked his daughter.
So his daughter is not first or second, is what you're telling me, since he said that's his third?
No, this
No,
is
that
my
was the
third
third
favorite
hammer.
hammer.
Oh.
I had to trade away the first two to get him out of a scrape.
Oh, I see what you mean.
But fortunately, I've never been known to get in a scrape, and it never happened again.
Yeah, okay, so there's some item he has that you have given him.
No.
No. I think it's more a metaphysical favor owed, and he's going to call on it at an inopportune time, like he has before. But
Okay.
yes, I still owe you. I am sorry.
So we did what we came here to do, and we figured out where the chick is that's gonna kill you.
Could you provide
let's
me
go.
a map so that I can walk more quickly to my doom?
She is in the highest hills, leading up into the wall that borders the jungle.
Okay.
Iocus, in your roamings, you know that is as far west as you can go. And there is a very old human Asonian wall that blocks the jungles off from the Centaur plains.
Okay. Why would she take up against the wall? Isn't that generally avoided?
She didn't speak to me before she left, but
Action sense, maybe.
I would imagine if you needed a place of security, knowing that at any given time there are a bunch of the filthy two-leggers on the other side, that's probably about as secure as you can be on one border.
Wow.
What?
Filthy two-leggers.
Yes.
And you guys want me to continue being nice?
He wasn't mean. There were no threats. There was no attack. There was
How
no
are,
blood
How
drawn.
are us two-leggers filthy?
Let me tell you. Because I have 2 legs, and there are a lot of two-leggers that come and prey upon the centaurs, thinking that they're going to prove themselves, and they attack and skin and make trades and make riches off of killing a civilized
I know
people.
that. I know that.
So, if you had dogs coming into your dwelling and savagely murdering you and displaying your kin and making riches off of them, wouldn't you feel somewhat persecuted and
And what do you
disinclined?
call the tiger around his neck?
A spiritual totem. A
Why
way of
is it-
honor.
Wait a minute. Why is that a spiritual? No.
It is a sign of respect.
How do you know that wearing centaur skin and everything for the two-leggers is not a sign of respect?
No, it's a sign of wealth and pride.
Well,
and-
see?
No, that's not wealth and pride. If it was wealth and pride, they would have been laughing about my son stealing a tiger cub. This is about the strength of one person against the strength of a tiger. It is the...
And you wonder why the tiger cub killed or tried to...
Because it's a savage beast, a strong,
Because they go
wise.
in and try killing them all the time.
That's a very uneducated point of view.
Yes, and maybe we shouldn't be arguing about this in front of our host who has threatened to kill us all if we upset him. As he gives her the side eye. My apologies for any insult that my uneducated...
Neville, can you,
Acquaintance.
open a book or something so I don't have to listen to the rest of this conversation? That I can read.
You would ignore the chief of a tribe?
Not ignore. I'm listening.
Friend.
So you are saying that no, hold on. That the chief of a tribe is not deserving of the entirety of your attention?
Do you really think that I am worthy of your attention?
You are here, so it must be so.
In that case, then you have my attention.
Thank you. I appreciate this not devolving into horrid murderness. Hope we have not offered offense. But I have another way to die today, so if you do not mind, I'd like to go find Calais.
Genzorg looks at Neville and at Thea. Well, while we're all chiming in on this conversation, do you have any enlightened views you would like to offer as well? Perhaps something to offset what this one is saying. And he looks at Philomena.
Only that everyone is entitled to defend themselves from outside attackers, and I personally do not see any value in passing judgment upon an entire group of people whose experiences I do not understand.
He just stares at you.
And Neville looks back up at him not a defiant glance, just a very resolute one.
Interesting. And what are your people called?
Bastards. They are real bastards.
I can concur.
He actually chuckles at that. And what about you?
How do you feel about books?
What?
Did I stutter?
Oh,
He does not know what books are. They don't have a written language.
Oh, you poor things.
that is the epitome of a uncivilized people in Thea's eyes. They don't have books.
No, it's just books are a gift. Books are amazing. Books hold knowledge you can carry with you.
That's what we have our people for. They tell our knowledge and history.
Okay.
If you write it down, someone can take it.
But someone can learn.
That's why you can make more copies. But okay, oral traditions. How?
My brain has busted.
A little bit, yes. How important are those oral traditions to your people?
They are important enough that the loss of any given tribe member is significant.
Awesome.
I believe what she is saying is that if any such traditions are at risk of being lost forever, preserving them in a written form can prolong their existence.
Genzorg looks at Iocus and looks at Thea and Neville. I do want you to understand. I know what a book is.
Well, I wasn't passing judgment if you didn't.
I am.
Iocus is over here chuckling.
Are you two making fun of me?
Genzorg looks at Iocus.
Iocus looks at Genzorg and was like, no.
Because I know where you sleep. And so does Sabathiel.
So about those oral traditions.
I just didn't want to hear an answer that was, I have a problem with knowledge in books.
No, I have no problem with knowledge.
Awesome. I have no horse in this race. I will behave.
That's offensive.
I'm sorry. It's an expression.
Genzorg actually gives you a big smile, and then when he turns back to Philomena, he's just got a frown.
We will try to make her behave.
We've killed her once.
We haven't
You
killed her.
had no such.
She was already
feelings
dead
with
when
me.
she met us.
She is a relic of a bygone era.
Yeah, that.
Yeah. Oh, I was just talking about how many times I've killed her in my mind. Wow.
Genzorg says, well, if you are unintelligent enough to seek out Calais,
You know me.
Let's
Yes.
just call him stupid.
I know you.
Let's just call him stupid.
I'm going to call in one of the smaller favors you owe me ahead of time, because I don't think you'll be able to pay it back later.
Go on.
That is a fine coat you have there. You seem very attached to it.
I am.
I would like to become very attached to it.
Do we understand, because we're not from the 5-star authority, do we recognize it as a spikejack coat?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
You might not be from there, but
You know what those look like.
There-
Everyone knows what they are,
You know,
basically.
you know how those assholes are.
there are like copper novels, written about the bandits and the spikejacks and things. So you pretty much know what they are.
You said this was a small favor.
Yes.
You don't understand what this jacket has been through with me.
No, but
He is on his third hammer.
Shut it, you.
that the jacket would in no way compare to the loss of even my second favorite hammer.
Oh, you have no idea, though. This has to be upgraded to one of the bigger favors. And it's only because I'm a man of my word.
Are you sentimentally attached to this particular jacket?
Yes.
Or no, I'm just
Yes,
joking.
this
I'm
is
just
my
joking.
jacket.
Yeah, but there's a lot of spikejacks, and you could get another one.
There might be a lot of spikejacks, but how many 9-foot-tall Minotaur spikejacks are there? Let me just quickly tell you, none. Well, one, I guess.
Well,
There will-
obviously.
There may be 0 left if you do not give him the jacket.
I would be willing to forgive you about my daughter.
I was wondering how to pay that one back.
Wait. While you were traveling, you didn't happen to sire any other children, did you?
No. No,
Then yes, I will forgive you for my daughter marrying into another tribe.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'd be glad to let my boy tutelage under... Oh, wait, I did that one time. And then he was my boy.
How much value would you place on a blow-by-blow account of the stupidity of him talking to Calais?
Provided you survived, I would find something of commensurate value to trade for that.
Because I will record that for you.
She's over here. I'm getting my shit pushed in, and she's like, oh, look, I even have drawings.
Neville can make them better.
Wow. 2 hoof cooks to the face. We're going to color that one.
His entrails were hanging 3 feet from his belly.
I'm trying to help you, Iocus.
I know. I'll take off the jacket and hand it over. You don't want the hat too, do you?
You don't.
Oh no, my hat!
Yeah, your hat's been missing for a while.
I recall.
So really, at this point, all that's left of Iocus's uniform is the yellow sash tied around his arm
And some pants.
and some pants. Genzorg takes the jacket and just like slings it over his butt, and ties the ties the arms around his waist.
You bastard.
Gives you a,
You killed Cabby, you asshole. This is 100% you asshole. I like that jacket a whole lot more than I like Cabby.
You what? Oh, you didn't like Cabby because it was your niece's.
So,
So Genzorg ties it around himself and says, "All right, Iocus, I officially forgive you for leading my daughter to another tribe so that she could fall in love and get married."
oh, how terrible. Your daughter had love and happiness, and I'm sure a lot of little centaurs running around.
Yes, several. They're quite exceptional, actually.
So then
As
why
is
was it a
that
bad
jacket.
thing?
Just because he did it.
These are some weird friends.
Yeah, that take your jacket.
Genzorg eyes the three of you. That's very, very relative.
I was gonna say, Mina, you're dead. That makes you a weird friend too.
Maybe.
No, maybe.
It happens.
Yes.
Having
I have a tiefling that's a friend. I have a fox that's a friend. I have an elf that's a friend, and that's very weird. I've adopted 2 other elves. I have a lot of weird friends. You're the only dead one.
Okay then.
Genzorg looks up when one of his assistants comes up. He says, "I hate to cut this meeting short. I need to exercise the new cloak that I've been given and see how rainproof it is." Gives Iocus a big smile. Also, there are matters to attend to. So, you're welcome to stay, should you choose. But
No, I'm good. I want to go.
oh, excellent. I promise I will take some care of this
You
garment.
better take the best fucking care of that, or I will come back here and I will hunt you down and take over your tribe.
He laughs and says, "You know, Iocus, for not having my men kill you for that, I think you owe me another favor."
No, and you know well that you had that one coming.
He pats you on the shoulder, walks away,
It hits different.
says, "Well, I wish you the best, and despite whatever ribbing may take place between us, you can put that finger down. I do wish you the best with Calais."
I'll be back for that jacket.
Well, you have quite some debt to pay off before I'm willing to consider trading it. It's quite comfortable, and I like the way it feels. And he kind of just shimmies his back legs. It rubs just the right way.
I'm gonna go before I start murdering all my allies in the Centaur nations.
You really wouldn't want your jacket back anyways after what it's been touching now.
You underestimate how much I like my jacket.
Ew.
It's not touching his butt. I mean, it is, but not that part of it.
Well, that's not what I was talking about.
Which
but
makes
okay.
you wonder, what actually constitutes the centaur butt? Is it the flank? Is it the hindquarters? Is it the actual? Not important.
I hope we are having this conversation as we
Yeah,
are.
yes, of course, of course.
Genzorg has walked away
Yeah.
and left you to your own devices. So as you're walking out, we'll say somewhere down the trail, there's this break in the clouds, and sunlight starts to creep through, and any centaurs around you just start groaning immediately, and start picking up the pace. Way down there, waiting by a tree, just leaned up against it, is Nameless, and that's where we'll leave off as you guys leaving the village. So you got to meet a tiger chief.
Fuck you.
Listen, as
Hey, it's not just me now.
as the GM,
Fuck you.
I don't have to inflict damage on your characters.
Fuck you.
To inflict damage.
So we need to change.
Fuck
your
you, hands off
character
the-
thing and take the jacket
Hands off the jacket.
And the hat. We gotta get rid
And
of
the hat. And the hat. Yep.
Pretty soon, come season 4, Iocus is going to join up with the rest of the group, just stark ass naked.
That's my hope. Is really Iocus just reverts back to full on beast in labyrinth mode.
Actually, I'm hoping he just goes full cow and starts walking around on 4 legs and loses the ability to talk or fight. Well, he can charge things.
I was about to say, have you seen a bull?
Yeah.
He's just like, I'm not going to save the world anymore. I'm going to go in that field. I'm going to chew some cud. Fuck everybody else.
Think about that jacket.
Fuck some cows?
Minotaur's got to have a hobby.
Actually, you know what else he's gonna lose before that?
Besides his dignity?
No, that's gone
He-
a long time ago.
He never had that.
He's gonna get the old snip snip.
Hey, Neville, come here.
You can eat Neville whole and
No,
he'll
it's-
survive in your 2 stomachs for a good long while. He's tiny. He can
No,
take
he's just going to take Neville and mount him on a horn as a hood ornament. All right. So that's all I got for tonight. You guys have anything?
Nope.
Nope.
Anybody know where to buy a jacket?
Actually, at teespring.com. No. I mean, you can go to Teespring and get merch, but yeah, all the usual stuff. Let your friends know about us. Make them download us. However you can. Reviews. Please leave us reviews, please. Please.
Tell us how bad or good we're doing.
Yeah.
Or, help me sponsor a $5 F-bomb for this bastard here.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, Gary.
Listen, anybody up to and including you can sponsor an F-bomb. I'll put links in the show notes.
Money is money.
Chingo tu madre, cabron.
We're a family podcast, please.
Since when?
Yeah, what family are you talking about? The Adams?
Anyway, having said that, thanks for listening, you guys. We'll see y'all next time.